Satsangam of Hindumitra. We're very fortunate and honored today to have with us Amarjeet. He's a leading exponent and dedicated master of all Hindu traditional sciences. He was trained in Kenya and the West. In 2018, there was the new UK-India Tech Alliance announced by Prime Ministers May and Modi. And Amarjeet was listed as one of the most influential people in UK-India relations. He set up the All-Parliamentary Group on Indian Traditional Sciences in the British Parliament, and his workshops and seminars provide participants with a level of understanding and expertise not generally available in training courses outside India. And we are today very fortunate to benefit from his expertise. He's going to talk to us about Jyotish. We were going to try and talk about Jyotish and Vastu in one session, but this was much too ambitious, as we now realize. So hopefully he'll honor us some later time with a talk about Vastu as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please, if I may, can I just thank my Jyotish mentor, Dr. Sangvi, a blind rishi who offered free of charge consultations for Jyotish Vidya, and for the last 50 years of his life. He actually went blind when he was still in East Africa, and unfortunately he went into transition yesterday morning. So I just really wanted to pay my humble honor and respect to my mentor, Dr. Sangvi. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
So most thankful to Karen ji and the Hindumitra organization for asking me to present some engaging information on Jyotish Shastra, as it is one of the sciences that make up the all-party parliamentary group on Indian traditional sciences, with which we work here in the United Kingdom Parliament. So our group's focus is to enshrine all Indian traditional sciences, including Ayurveda, Yoga, Jyotish, Vastu, Gandharv, into an integrative healthcare within the National Health Service. And so it is my privilege to share the little humble knowledge I have with you through this medium of satsang. Satsang is basically a very old sadhana concept, which has been used, since time immemorial, which is basically a company of noble people seeking truth. So that is what is satsang. Yeah. So this is going to be quite a long session. I think it's time to be about an hour. So there's a lot of information to take in. So if you want to write something, then please do so. If you get stuck and if I'm speaking too fast, please feel free to slow me down, and then we can go through, what I'm trying to share here with you. So, the divine and the ancient Maharishis. Maha is great, Rishi is a seer who developed Jyotish, and possessing, deep wisdom, and they also wanted to bring about, its practical application, how it can actually be a very practical institution. So they sought to solve the age-old problem of human suffering by providing tools of all Indian traditional sciences, including, what I had just mentioned earlier, meditation. Meditation is not really a name that we have in our Shastras. Shastras are the age-old almanacs of Indian information, Indian wisdom. So they are traditionally known as Shastras. So it's like a like a spiritual almanac. And so the word that we actually use is for the Western meditation is Nam Simran. Nam Simran. And it can also be called as Dhyanam. Dhyanam. So Dhyanam and Nam Simran and all the other sciences, they assist the human race in the fundamental quest for health and happiness. So ultimately, all these tools aim to produce enlightenment, a state of consciousness characterized by infinite bliss, unbounded awareness, deep abiding peace and freedom. Yet the masters of the universe, so that's my sort of classification of all the masters who've made such a formidable impact in bringing these sciences alive. So all our masters of the universe understood the path towards enlightenment, the need not to be of austerity. So they basically outlined four worthwhile aims of life. So the first aim of life, any human life, anywhere on the planet, is dharma. Dharma can be basically defined as a mode of conduct for law, duty, or purpose, most conducive for one's spiritual growth. Fulfilling dharma brings meaning, purpose, and honor to a person's life. And the second path they created was Artha, A-R-T-H-A. Artha, though translated, it's a goal of life, it's a purpose of life, is more specifically related to the acquisition of wealth or sense of security. In order to experience the happiness of attaining one's goals, a person must have necessary resources of wealth in order to do so. Number 3 is Kama, K-A-M-A. Some of you might have come across Kama Sutra. Yeah, so this is Kama. Translates literally as desire, pleasure, affection, and emotion, and refers to the need for sensory and emotional happiness. All beings in some way or another are seekers of joy and should pursue such joy without harming themselves or others. And number 4, we come to Moksha, the final goal, which basically means liberation. And that relates to people's spiritual development until their eventual freedom from the cycle of birth and death. So Jyotish is a tool that is designed to help people to achieve all these aims so that the life in both the spiritual and material aspects can be joyous, event culminating in enlightenment. So the actual name for Jyotish is Jyotish Shastra, because it is from Shastra. Do you remember I spoke to you about Shastra? Shastra is the almanac. This is the embodiment book where it is all. This is where it all comes from. Jyotish Shastra refers to the whole range of astral science dating to the Vedic period of classical Sanskrit literature. So you probably have heard of the Vedas. Vedas are renowned as the most ancient books of wisdom here on the planet. And so that's going way back to something like about 10,000 years back. So this is a classical Sanskrit literature, and this is when it all sort of came together. So the term Jyotish is derived from two Sanskrit words, Jyoti. And you find that if you have many Indian ladies who are your friends, and a lot of their names are Jyoti, yeah, like your name is Karen, yeah, so Jyoti, meaning light, and Isha, Jyotish, Isha means divinity. The light, hence the light coming from the stars and planets. So the Jyotish Shastra is the most ancient Indian philosophical tradition that studies the movement of stars and their influence on human life. So then we go into how the whole concept sort of came together, and it all was started by Adya Yogi, ADI Yogi, Adya Yogi, the primordial name given to Shiva, who is the first to transmit the profound Indian traditional sciences and imparted the empirical knowledge to 7 rishis. And in Sanskrit, we call them Sapt. Sapt is the Sanskrit word for 7 rishis. Rishis, as you know by now, are seers, yeah? Who were the first disciples, who were his first disciples, and are central to the spiritual healing traditions of Bharat. Bharat is the original name for India. India is a name given to India by the British. But before the British came to India, the country was known as Bharat, Bharat. Having spread these teachings globally, making them universal technology for human evolution and self-realization. And so when Shiva taught these 7 rishis all the information they needed to know, all the universal technology they needed to be armed with, they were then sent out to the 7 continents. And that is why there is so much similarity between Indian traditional sciences and what is going on in different continents around the world. So the seed to all healing is from Shiva. Shiva is also revered as the Ad Guru. Ad means first, yeah. So he's the first enlightener, dispelling darkness and guiding others towards inner awakening. His teachings were transmitted over a long period, to whom he imparted the full mechanics of life's sciences experimentally and not just intellectually. So these 7 rishis are Angiras, Atri, Brigu, Kratu, Pulsatya, Pulaha, and Vashishta. So these were the mind-born sons of Brahma. So then we go here, into the Divine Trinity, otherwise known as the Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Yeah. So these 7 Saptarishis were the mind-born sons of Brahma, and so so they then, as I said, went and taught mankind, all the knowledge that they had obtained from Shiva, and they thus have become the guardians of this divine knowledge, and its preserved universal knowledge. They are represented by the 7 stars of the Ursa major constellation, known as the Saptarishi Mandal or the Big Dipper. There is another star slightly visible within this concept, known as Arundhati. Arundhati is the name of the wife of Vashishta, who is one of the 7 rishis. So somehow she just got in, she got through. This pole, It's I sent an illustration, Karen. Do you want to see if you can ask somebody to bring that up, please? The first one.
Sorry, where did you send it, Amarjeet ji?
I sent it to Karen on her email.
It's in the email, I think. Okay, I'll pull it out in the meantime. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So we'll talk about it when we get the illustration up. And then sort of proceeding in the meantime. So Maharishi Parashara and Maharishi Brigu are the founders for compiling and distilling this ancient knowledge into the most comprehensive surviving Shastra on Vedic natal astrology, in particular the Brihat Parashara predictive astrology, which goes into horoscopes, known as Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, deals with all the rules of engagement for Jyotish, and Brigu Samhita, which is a divine compendium of astrological knowledge containing detailed horoscopes, predictions, and remedies for individuals based on their birth details. So these two Maharishis, Parashara and Brigu, are the latest incarnation, where all this knowledge, they're the people who put this whole knowledge together in these two latest Shastras we have in India. So there you see, you have in the Saptarishi Mandal, the 7 names of the 7 rishis, which I spoke to you about earlier. And so you can see them. I mean, people who are like into astrology, they see all this, and so this is in the constellation of Ursa Major. And please, would you like to bring in the second illustration?
Yeah.
There. So you see, you have the 7 rishis on each grid. And when you look at Dhruv, Dhruv is the Sanskrit name for Northern Star. North Star is known as Dhruv. So a lot of people, when they go to sleep at night, they'll say, "I'll see you at Dhruv." This is what they mean, that they will see the North. They see the North Star, and so you see the depiction of the Saptarishi Mandal. In summer, the way it's in the sky, and in the spring as it's in the heavens, and in the winter and in autumn. So that is how it sort of goes cycle in a cycle direction around this North Star. Yeah. So I just really wanted to bring that to your kind attention. So this is how powerful Jyotish, India's Jyotish program is. And yeah, thank you so much for that. And so the cosmic influences, so in Jyotish Shastra, the whole program is based on what we call 9 grahas. Yeah, so these are 9 planets, 9 grahas, which are cosmic forces that, through their position at the time of a person's birth, influence various aspects of that person's life, including personality, relationship, and destiny. So we have in the 9 grahas, in the 9 planets, we actually have 7 celestial bodies that exert influence as I said, known as Navgraha, but there are only 7 heavenly bodies in the 9 grahas. And the remainder 2 are the lunar nodes known as Rahu and Ketu, which are basically mathematical points representing the ascending and the descending nodes of the moon. So what happened was that when the whole institution, came together, and so there was a something called Samundran Manthan, which is where they wanted to find the nectar of immortality, and so they had to churn this milky ocean, and so there was an arrangement made, between the devas. Devas are all the good guys, and asuras, which are not so good guys. So they came together because this was the only way to safeguard the future of the cosmos. To bring about this nectar of immortality. And so there was a line here, and some of the leading devtas. Devta is the Sanskrit name for um, um, people entities who work with the universe, who work for the welfare of the universe. And asuras are the entities who are challenging them. And so there were devtas sitting here in a line, and once they got this nectar of immortality churned out from this ocean, and Vishnu was offering this nectar to each of the people who were sitting there. And unfortunately, there were no asuras sitting there, but that's another very big story. We'll have to speak about that some other time. And suddenly, one of the asuras realized that, none of us are sitting in the line. And his name was Swarvbanu. Yeah. So he went and he sat in the line where all the devtas were sitting, and Vishnu was offering Amrit, the nectar of immortality, to all the people sitting there. And then obviously, as I was saying, Swarvbanu went and sat there, and he also was about to have the nectar of immortality when Vishnu suddenly realized that, something's not right here. And he got out his Sudarshan Chakra, which is his spiritual weapon, and that took his head away from his body. And so Swarvbanu in the Indian Jyotish program are known as Rahu and Ketu. So we'll speak about that as we develop this a little bit more. So this is how the story all comes together. So in this spiritual council of how the universal is run, so it's run by the 7 planets and the 2 parts of Swarvbanu, one of which is the head and the other one is the tail, is the body. So Navgrahas are the principal influences on human life. Their movement and their position shape our destiny, personality, and life events. And then if I may, I just also want to speak about where there is male, there has to be female in terms of energy exchange. So we have something extremely elaborate in Indian traditional sciences known as Dasa Mahavidya. Dasa means 10, Mahavidya means absolute wisdom. So Dasa Mahavidya are the manifestations of Shakti. Shakti is the divine cosmic feminine energy. So um, this so the 10 Mahavidyas, the goddesses, are consorts of the planets that we are going to be talking about today. And this information is very rarely shared. I don't think many people share this information, but I thought it would be good for you to sort of get the complete depth of this situation. So metaphysically interpreted, Mahavidyas represent cosmic reality, both in its dynamic and static form, prevailing prevailing all over seen and unseen spaces, all directions, as well as also the elemental regions summed up as 10. So here again is an absolutely amazing story of how the 10 Vidyas, Mahavidyas came into being, and at some stage it's an opportunity for you to learn about this, because this is a vast subject. And I couldn't do justice just to speak about it for just a couple of minutes. And so the Mahavidyas, the 10 manifestations of the divine feminine, preside over 10 elemental regions of the cosmic reality. Also, its absolute nature, the dynamic as well as the static. So when I speak about the planets, I'm actually also going to give you the name of the Mahavidyas which are linked to each planet. So as we know, Lakshmi is a consort for Vishnu, and Saraswati is a consort for Brahma, and Parvati is a consort for Shiva. And in the same direction, in the same light of thinking, each planet has the influence of one particular divine feminine. So I'm going to start with Surya. Surya is our name, Indian name for the sun. And the Mahavidya that is part of the Surya program is Matangi. So the positive characteristics. So these are the these are the characteristics that we identify, or people who work with who consult, for Jyotish charts. This is what they would actually see in the chart, which is known as Kundali, and we will come to that in a few minutes. So the positive characteristics of the sun. So in Jyotish Shastra, the sun is our soul. The sun represents our soul. And the Surya is born from the union of Maharishi Kashyap and Devi Aditi. Okay, so this probably is making it a little bit more difficult for you to understand, but you really need to understand where everything is coming from. And one day we will go more into detail about Maharishi Kashyap and Devi Aditi. So the sun is renowned as the king of all Navgrahas, the star at the center of our solar system, governing the soul and vitality. The sun represents the core essence of our identity, our ego, and our willpower. Its position in our birth chart influences our vitality, leadership abilities, and the way we project ourselves to the world. Imagine the sun as the beacon of light guiding our life's journey, illuminating our strengths and goals, righteous path, bestowing good health and a positive attitude. It gives the power to speak the truth no matter what, to stand for what is right. Chardi Kala as a name that we use in India. This is what Chardi Kala is all about, which makes human high spirited. So the negative characteristics of the sun, in your chart, if it's placed not well in your chart, the sun may bring defamation and lack of ambition, to the person. It may also make the individual an introvert and create difficulty in self-expression, causing anger over minor issues and a sense of dominance. It may also cause weak health and arrogance. There's a lot more to obviously this, but I'm just really taking things here which are, from the top of the iceberg. So just to give you an idea of how a Jyotish consultant would look at where the position of these planets is in your chart, and then accordingly give you a consultation. So then we come to Chandra. Chandra is the Sanskrit name for the moon, and the Mahavidya related to the moon is Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvaneshwari. Positive characteristics of the moon, that it is the queen of emotions. The moon governs our subconscious mind, our intuition, and our emotional responses. It is very closely tied to our nurturing side and connects us with others emotionally strong and makes us think positive. The moon's phases are a reflection of our inner tides, ebbing and flowing with our moods and feelings. It ensures love and support, especially from the mother and the mother's side of the family. The negative characteristics that it's responsible for: emotional instability, mood swings, psychological issues, and not so healthy relationships. We then come to Mangal, which is a Sanskrit name for Mars. The Mahavidya attached to Mangal is Bagla Mukhi. So the positive characteristics of Mangal is a very fiery warrior of the Navgrahas. Mars represents energy, action, and desire. It fuels our ambitions and drives us to conquer challenges. Think of Mars as a cosmic engine that powers our determination and courage, urging us to take bold steps towards our dreams by providing strength, confidence, and bravery. The negative impacts and afflicted, you will find many Jyotishis. Jyotishi is a person who practices Jyotish Shastra. Many Jyotishis will use the word afflicted. Afflicted it's actually distressed. That's what it actually means, distressed. An afflicted Mars may lead to aggression, impulsiveness, and anger, and cause ill health, and also, have an impact, on what you eat, on your diet. So we have Jyotish for single people, individual people like all of us here, and then you also have Jyotish for communities. You can actually do a Jyotish for communities, and you can also do a Jyotish for countries, and these are very special Jyotish practitioners, who specialize in all these various, layers of Jyotishism. And then obviously there are very specific Jyotishis who specialize only in relationships, marriages, children, and some who specialize in work and stuff like that. Yeah. Right, and we then come to Guru, is another name for Jupiter. The Mahavidya attached to Guru is Tara. Tara, positive characteristics: The benevolent giant symbolizing sorry symbolizing wisdom, growth, and prosperity. Jupiter's expanse energy brings opportunities for learning, spiritual development, and good fortune. It acts as a celestial teacher, guiding us towards higher knowledge and ethical living and maintaining a long-term happy relationship. Negative characteristics: an unfavorable position of Jupiter in your chart may create issues in attaining higher education, adverse health effects. So be mindful about your diet, and it may sort of delay relationships and issues in marriage, and also cause financial instability. We then come to Shukra. Shukra is the Sanskrit name for Venus. Mahavidya that lives with Shukra, which is attached to Shukra, is Kamala. Positive characteristics: the planet of love, beauty, and pleasure. It influences its influence enhances our sense of aesthetics, our romantic inclinations, and our appreciation for the finer things in life. It inspires creativity, harmony, and the pursuit of happiness. It is responsible for maintaining social grace, harmonious relationships, and ensures financial stability, luxury, and comfort. An unfavorable Venus in your chart may lead to marital issues, lack of genuine love, and may raise insecurity levels and emotional instability. And we come to planet number 6, Shani is the name for Saturn. The Mahavidya here is Kali. The positive characteristics of Shani is born from the union of Sun and Chaya. That they're the parents of Shani. And Shani is a stern taskmaster representing karma, discipline, justice, structure, and life's challenges. Its lessons, though often tough, are essential for our growth and resilience. It teaches us the value of hard work, I can't pronounce that. And also patient, ultimately leading us to long-term success. Negative implications: may feel lethargic, lonely, and impatient. It's also known for its financial instability and delays in all activities, so it slows everything down. Budh is Mercury. Mahavidya, Shodasi. Positive characteristics: being born from the moon and Tara, the planet of intellect, communication, and reasoning. It influences our thought, processes, learning abilities, and how we express ourselves. Mercury is like the quicksilver messenger of the gods, ensuring that our ideas and interactions are sharp, clear, effective, and it represents in our families the daughters and the cousins. It offers great humor and quick wit. Its negative characteristics, during its period in your chart, it will is likely to affect your communication skills and make you irrational, even leading to making wrong decisions. So there is no sort of set period, over your life, of say 100 years. It's not that each graha is going to be in your life for 10 years each. It could be any number of years and at any time. So we then come to the shadow planet, which is Rahu, the first Rahu planet. Mahavidya attached to Rahu is Chinnamasta, the shadow planet born from Simha and Viprachati. They're the name of this gentleman Rahu. Is a bodiless person. Represents the north node of the moon, a bodiless entity, a point of illusion and mysterious influence. Rahu represents our worldly desires and the pursuit of material gains, often leading us into uncharted territories and unconventional paths. May inspire an individual to become ambitious and lead to material prosperity. And this in your chart may create confusion and leave you feeling exhausted at times, responsible for sudden events which may result in substantial financial losses. Right, and we then come to the second part of this. This is the headless entity. Is Ketu. The Mahavidya which is attached to Ketu is Dhumavati. The shadow planet born from Simhika and Viprachati, the same parents of course, yeah, because both of these guys have the same mom and dad. The south node of the moon, a headless entity, a point. It's a highly spiritual planet known for intuitive and psychic abilities and detachment and spiritual growth. It represents your grandparents. Also known for its transformative and healing energies, it enables individuals to learn from past mistakes, past life experiences, and confidently move you forward. Its negative characteristics, however, may result in betrayal, emotional disconnect, leading to addiction to alcohol and drugs. And it triggers definitely stress, anxiety, and may cause sorrow, loss, and confusion. So those are the 9 planets, and so so we've done that. And is anyone here who will agree with me that we've covered all the Mahavidyas with the 9 planets?
Is there one more Mahavidya? Is there?
Thank you. Who is that?
Sorry, I can't get my video. It's Helen.
All right. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. So we have something in the Jyotish system which is called Lagna. Lagna basically means ascendant. So the Lagna is the zodiac sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at exactly the moment of the time of your birth, which is known as ascendant or auspicious moment. So Lagna is an ascendant or auspicious moment, and that's why it's so critical. When a Jyotish practitioner is building up a chart, is absolutely critical to have the right time, and so this is why the time has to be exactly right. Exact moment of person's birth, which is known as the Lagna. So the Lagna serves as a starting point for the entire astrological chart, the Kundali, which we will go on to in a minute, which influences one's personality and the complete life path. And the 10th Mahavidya attached to Lagna is Tripura Behravi.
Sorry, so Tripura, sorry, I didn't hear.
Tripura Bhairavi.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so so everything you see, everything comes together, whether it's with Jyotish, whether it's with Mahavidya, whether it's with all the other Indian traditional sciences, and so we now go on to talk a little bit about Kundali. Kundali is basically a natal or a birth chart which maps the positions of the celestial bodies at the exact time, date, and the place of the person's birth. So instead of calling it birth chart, the Jyotishi community calls it the Kundali. So these charts, the Kundalis, are then analyzed to gain insight into the individual's personality, life path, and future events. So Jyotish, Jyotish, we can also classify Jyotish as karmic astrology. It aims to predict the periods of benefits and blessings, the periods when there's ample blessings and benefits coming your way, as well as obstacles and difficulties, and that directly related to what karma you are taking on board and you are actually coming with that you encounter. So armed with this information, the Jyotish practitioner can make the best use of good periods, as well as the person who's having a reading, and exercise more caution in not so good time periods. The Kundali is based on an analysis of planetary arrangement based on the code contained in person's birth chart, compiled from the date of birth, the time of birth, and the place of birth. This gives timely and high probability forecasts as highly condensed and coded information. So all this, you don't have the whole 9 yards, in a reading about once it comes in a coded form, which only a Jyotish practitioner can decode. So this can be read and decoded by a skilled Vedic astrologer to give high probability and time-dependent predictions in the key life areas of the four programs that we started talking about, which was Dharma, Artha, Kam, and Moksha. So this is what Jyotish is all about, these four legs of life. So the most the almanacs in the Shastras we spoke about a little bit earlier, they describe that everyone and everything is under the control of Kal. Kal is Sanskrit for time. So time is an entity. The only one entity that is not in control of time. Time applies to every tree on the planet, every ocean, every living creature, every bird, every mammal, every human. Doesn't matter what continent you're from, and the whole of the 14 universes that we live in. So we in Indian traditional sciences don't just speak about a universe, we speak about a multiverse. And I think there is now gradual thinking, from the science community in the West, that they're trying to understand this. So there are 14 realms, and we are right in the middle. Where we are, our human realm is right in the middle, and there are 6 realms beneath us, and 7 realms above us. And so there are life on all those realms. And so the only place where the only entity that that is beyond Kal is Shiva and Shakti. So by its influence, individuals are pulled inevitably through various stages of existence before they eventually go into transition to their next life, the condition of which is determined by their accumulated karma. So there are different levels of karma, and at some stage we would probably be nice to talk about that. Yeah. So this is based on accumulated karma. In space-time, astral bodies affect this fabric of influencing everything around them. And a very good friend of mine, Dr. David Frawley, lives in the United States, and he wrote a book on astrology of the seers, and he very eloquently says that what we call the planets are no more than points of light in a vast energy network connected intricately by subtle lines of force, linking the entire solar system into a single organism. Though the planets appear like small points of light in the distance, their energy fields are present on Earth, and they are responsible for many of the formations of the Earth's life and of our own bodies and minds. So simply to understand what he's saying here, so simply put, as the life is played out in the field of time, the planets are like referees maintaining order. So what is free will and what is destiny? Our future is determined by two things, according to our Shastras, our knowledge, our wisdom. Destiny and free will. So destiny refers to the various situations we encounter in life, while free will is how we react to them through thought and action. Examples contrasting destiny and free will include being born into a specific family is the destiny, versus choosing a career path, for example, that's your free will. Free will is based on the idea of choice. How we react creates further karma, which then determines the future set of situations we will be destined to face. In other words, our destiny is created by our free will. Indian traditional sciences and all the wonderful gurus that we have in the Indian traditional sciences, they are scientist gurus, yeah, and they say to us, if you want no karma, then live in dharma. If you don't want karma, live in dharma. So Vedic astrology is the map of our karma. It allows us to more precisely understand our own nature and destiny in order to navigate our lives in fulfilling the above four goals that we spoke about. That's how brilliant the whole concept is. Ultimately, however, it's about helping us in our spiritual development. That's where the buck stops, yeah? In our spiritual development to achieve the final goal of moksha. By studying our kundali, we can better comprehend what energies are affecting us and how we can best respond to those energies, often with spiritual practices like Nam Simran, Kirtan, and satsangs that help us in our spiritual growth. A true satsangi, satsang, and the person who delivers satsang is called satsangi, will not charge money for his knowledge or her knowledge. That's the way it always has been. You might make a donation. I'll put some details on my bank details here in a minute. But you can always make a donation. But a true satsangi will never charge money for sharing this wisdom, because that is not how it's done. So the so not only is Jyotish predictive astrology, it is it is preventative. So Jyotish offers a wide range of remedial measures, including the importance of remedies to mitigate the negative effects of planetary influences. Remedies may include wearing specific gemstones, performing sacraments, chanting mantras, and adopting lifestyle changes. So, what is the difference between Jyotish and Western astrology? So, Jyotish originates from the same from the Vedic tradition as all other Indian traditional sciences. And it's not something that was developed over a period of time. Rather, it was delivered by divinity. The science of light has withstood a long test of time, and people have derived benefits from it over thousands of years. While both Vedic and Western astrology have their merits, and in some respects are very similar, the Vedic system is thought to be more refined system. Though the interpretation of planetary movements is generally similar in both systems, Vedic astrology offers an exceptionally sophisticated calculation process that results in refined detail. Jyotish astrology also takes an interdisciplinary approach by drawing from the sister sciences of Ayurveda, and therefore offers a more holistic approach. And Jyotish practitioners are very good Ayurvedic. They understand the whole Ayurveda philosophy and how it works. And so all these disciplines, yoga people have to have sufficient knowledge of Ayurveda and vice versa. And so that's why it's very important that all these sciences have a place for you to learn whatever science you might be learning, but you need to add the other sciences on. Western astrology changes as more planets and even planet-like objects are discovered by astronomers, and astrological rules have morphed over a long period of time, and that is not so with Jyotish. We have a complete system, the 9 grahas, and that is how the whole system has worked always. So what is Jyotish saying to us today? Jyotish is saying that in modern, Jyotish astrology continues to thrive as people seek guidance and insight into their lives. It has adapted to the digital age, with online platforms offering personalized birth charts, readings, and consultations with experienced Jyotish astrologers. Jyotish is a profound and intricate system that delves into the cosmic interplay between the celestial bodies and human existence. And I see that we are touching 4 o'clock, so maybe just another few minutes, Karen, and then I think we're done. Yeah. So it's terribly important, to understand, how do you actually identify a good astrologer. So in a world filled with psychics and fortune tellers, it's important to note that the techniques of Vedic astrology require many years of academic study and training. The best astrologers are the ones who have actually developed their skills over lifetimes. Even then, its practice is very hardly understood, and it's in depth. Complete mastery is near impossible. And again, a um, a Jyotishi will never say to you, my first consultation for 1 hour is $100, and every remedy that I sell you, stones, like stones, pearls and rubies, will cost you. It doesn't never happen like that. A Jyotish practitioner will give you their consultation free of charge. And that's how we started our program with Dr. Sangvi. I spoke to you that for the last 40 years he did everything free of charge. And so then the Jyotish practitioner then might say that, I think you need to have a certain mantra which is free. You recite that, and you might need a gemstone which will cost money, and then you go and you buy that and you wear that. Yeah, so so in fact the astrologers of ancient India were considered to be great mentors, who were honest, humble, magnanimous, detached, and they treated everyone equally. Their main purpose was to help guide individuals on the path of spirituality. Though they may not, though they are not, they are much harder to find these days. Astrologers who maintain a similar standard of spiritual integrity still exist. So thank you so much, and I hope that this few of my humble thoughts were exciting and eye-opening, and something that was useful for your memory banks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amarjeet ji. That was a real insight into a very fascinating world. And we hope to welcome you again to Hindumitra to share more of your knowledge about traditional Indian sciences. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. Now you mentioned Vashishta. There is actually a Vashishta cave near Rishikesh where I've been, and also there's a smaller cave for Arundhati. So it's good to know something. It's a really wonderful, peaceful place.
Yeah, I mean, all these places are there. And many places, so many organizations, and all the great work that Hindumitra, is doing, and organizations like that, they've installed, temples which are basically scientific museums. Really, these places are scientific museums. And you go to so many temples in India, where people don't know how they were actually put together. The materials they've used, and how they, what must they have used, to put these things together. And it's like the platform for a temple. It's designed when the female is lying on her back, so the entrance is at the feet. And it's shaped like if you have a cross section of a lady lying flat on her back, like on a treatment table, you can see, and you see the side elevation of the temple. It matches exactly her body, and it's rather unfortunate that the whole institutions are becoming very patriarchal. Yeah, when all this was very matriarchal many sort of moons back. And I'm very glad that there are still amazing people in this world who really admire and work with the matriarchal forces, the Samhavidya, because they are also the whole concept is very much cross Indian and not just one particular group of people who adhere to these principles. So I'm very excited about that, and I think the future is bright. And I mean, there will always be people, like there are 8 people here on the screen, I think, who will go against the grain, and that's what the universe needs. We need to make a commitment. We need to make a promise. We need to help the universe to grow, because it's growing every day. Every night it grows. So the concept isn't that somebody made the universe and is resting on Saturday afternoon or Sunday, as the case may be. So the universe is growing. We need to understand what are we going to contribute in the development of the positive development of this universe. We have to leave a legacy for the universe. We go back to the universe, and the universe is going to say, okay, well, you were there 95 years, so what is your legacy? And this is the best legacy that we can leave, leaving this wisdom, leaving this knowledge for all people. Because when you look at the grid in the universe, the Saptarishi Mandala is not for India, it's for universe. So all this information is for the universe. It's not designed for Indian people or people from Tamil Nadu or from Punjab. It's designed for every person on the planet, whether they're from northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. We have to take this knowledge out, and that is why we're working very hard here in the British in the British Parliament, so that we have to take this understanding to those politicians who need to be made aware that they're, because you see right now they don't understand anything from the other side. They have everything is ready, steady, go. The system is working for them. We need to fight and to get through, to let them know that we are also part of this universe, and this is how we want to live. And that is very important, why we have put together this program for Ayurveda, for yoga, for Jyotish, for Vastu, and for Gandharv in the British Parliament. So we actively speak about this to the parliamentary and the policy-making community, so that they really do understand that, hang on, something is not right. And so we need, if we can have freedom of choice for what we eat and what we wear, where is that freedom of choice for our health and our wellness? So I hope that you will continue to support the hard work being done at the All Party Parliamentary Group on Indian Traditional Sciences. Please come to our events at the Parliament. Please support us, and in any way that you feel that you can. And thank you for everything. Thank you for this lovely afternoon.
Right. So thanks a lot, Amarjeet ji. So I think on that note, I would like to add what Hindumitra has been trying to do. Hindumitra is a foundation as an NGO in India. However, because I have been physically present in UK, and I have made some connections, through Satsanga particularly, we have started this platform particularly to cater to the needs of UK and Europe. So this Satsanga is actually for that purpose. So we welcome everyone to utilize this opportunity to share their wisdom. And as you have very rightly said, we are here duty bound to the universe, and we would like to kind of not only share knowledge from our end on Sanatana Dharma, spirituality, and even any traditions, particularly the ancient spiritual traditions across the world. We would need to kind of discuss those things, the utility they have in the modern world. And so this is definitely an opportunity. Karanji will be in touch with any one of you who may wish to bring in those subjects for discussion, and we'll be glad to host you.
Yeah, so don't give up, okay? Don't give up. Never give up. If you can't run, walk, and if you can't walk, then crawl. This mission has to carry on, and we have to carry on as long as we have prana in our system, and we have to then leave this to the other generation. So they must carry this torch forever. There has to be balance in the universe. So please have more of these programs, with all your enlightened, spokespeople you have in India, you have all around the world, and keep on and work with all communities around the world, all people around the world. We need to raise this vibration.
Right, thank you. If anybody has any questions,
We noticed a question in the chat. And I would like to ask, what is the roles of Devata, Libala, Muxi, etc. with Planeta?
Sorry, where's
I'm not too sure if the question was framed properly. Would you mind just verbally asking the question, please? Yeah, I'm not too sure if there was a grammatical kind of correction needed in that question.
శ్రీనివాస్ గారు అదే ఆ దేవతల పేర్లు ఏంటి అసలు ఆ ప్లానెట్స్ ఎందుకు లింక్ అయ్యి ఉన్నాయనేది సందేహం.
So that question was asked in Telugu to me. I'll translate. Essentially, he wanted to know the connection the devatas had with the planets. I think that will be for another day, I guess. We will need to wrap up today. So ఇంకొక రోజు మాట్లాడదాం సాయిరామ్ గారు దాని గురించి. We will talk about it another day. Okay.
Very good. Yeah, thank God that you can speak this so many Indian languages, so you understand. Yeah, that's
So
very good.
that's my mother tongue, so that's okay.
All right, okay. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you back in UK when you're here at some time.
Yeah, definitely. I'll make a point to meet you if I can when I'm in UK next time. So normally I would start. We would start with our own little English version of the Hindumitra prayer, but there is no harm in ending with it. Karanji, can we wrap it up with a prayer?
Oh, sorry, I haven't learned the prayer.
No, you don't need to. I'm going to show it on the screen. So, well, it's more like a pledge than a prayer. Somebody can be poetic to change it. I am the Atman, the self. There has never been a time when I did not exist. I am eternal, untouched by birth or death. I am all pervading, all things reside in me, and I see all beings as my own, with the unwavering thought I am a friend to all. I remain unaffected by pleasure or pain, unmoved by victory or defeat, unshaken by praise or blame. Whatever the outcome, I never turn away from Dharma, living by Dharma, serving Dharma, teaching Dharma, and protecting Dharma. This is my unwavering purpose. Om Shanti. So with that, we will close for today. Thank you so much all for joining in. We'll meet up next Saturday again.
Hari Om. Jai Ma.
Jai. Jai.